This is you. You were born in the mountains, where the air is thin and the silence is absolute. Your father was a shepherd who taught you one sacred skill: patience. Hours spent watching over sheep taught you to stay perfectly still, to read the wind, to calculate distance with your eyes alone. Your mother died when you were 7, leaving behind only a silver compass that you wear around your neck like a talisman. Life in the highlands was brutal but simple, until the day the cartel soldiers rolled into your village in their black trucks. They weren't looking for recruits. They were looking for land to grow their crops. Your father, stubborn as the mountains themselves, refused to leave. He stood in front of your home with an old hunting rifle, protecting the only thing he had left. You watched from the tree line, hidden as your father taught you, as they executed him in the dirt. One shot, clean, professional. The shooter was so far away, you couldn't even see his face. Just a glint of metal on a distant ridge. That image burned into your brain forever. The power of distance, the safety of invisibility, the godlike control of taking a life from where nobody can touch you. You were 12 years old when you made your decision. You walked down from the mountains to the nearest cartel checkpoint and told them you wanted to join. The guards laughed at the skinny kid with dirt under his nails. But you told them something that made them stop. I know who killed the shepherd last month. I watched him from 800 meters away. I can describe his rifle, his position, even the way he breathed before he pulled the trigger. They drove you to the training compound that same night. The cartel's sniper academy isn't like the military. There are no medals, no ceremonies, no honor. It's a factory that turns human beings into precision instruments of death. The instructors are former special forces soldiers from a dozen different countries, men who deserted for money and have nothing left to lose. Your first instructor is a man they call El Fantasma, a ghost. He's a deserter from an elite counter-sniper unit, and he speaks in whispers like he's afraid of being heard even in the middle of nowhere. He hands you a rifle that weighs more than you do and says, "This is your new religion. The scope is your prayer. The trigger is your confession." The training is methodical, obsessive, brutal. You wake up at 3 a.m. every day and hike into the mountains carrying 50 kilos of gear. You dig a hide in the rocky soil with your bare hands, a shallow grave where you'll lie for the next 16 hours without moving. No food, no water, no bathroom breaks. Just you, the rifle, and a target 1,000 meters away. El Fantasma teaches you that sniping isn't about shooting. It's about mathematics, meteorology, psychology. You learn to read the mirage shimmer in the heat, to judge wind speed. You learn to calculate the Coriolis effect, how the Earth's rotation will pull your bullet left or right depending on direction. You learn to count your heartbeats and fire between them when your body is perfectly still. But most importantly, you learn patience, the ability to lie in your own filth for days, watching a target through a scope, waiting for the perfect moment that might never come. Lesser students crack under the isolation. They start talking to themselves, seeing things that aren't there, abandoning their positions. You thrive in the silence. It reminds you of the mountains, of watching sheep with your father. After 6 months, El Fantasma takes you to the killing house. It's not a house at all, but a mock village built in a valley. There are mannequins set up in windows, doorways, walking the streets. Your test is simple. Eliminate 6 high-value targets mixed among dozens of civilians without being spotted by the roving patrols. You set up on a ridge 1,200 meters out. Through your scope, you study the pattern of the guards, the movement of the crowds. You wait 3 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours. The sun sets. Other students have already fired and failed, their impatience betraying them. You wait until 2 a.m. when the guards are tired and sloppy. Then, in the space of 90 seconds, you fire 6 shots. 6 targets drop. You pack your gear and disappear into the darkness before anyone even knows a sniper was there. El Fantasma finds you at breakfast the next morning. He doesn't congratulate you. He just nods and says, "You're ready." Your first real mission is a nightmare. The target is a federal prosecutor who's about to testify against the cartel. He's under protection in a safe house in the capital, surrounded by bodyguards and surveillance. The cartel has tried twice to kill him up close. Both teams died in the attempt. You drive into the city with nothing but a guitar case and a backpack. You rent a tiny apartment in a building 7 blocks away from the safe house. The landlord doesn't ask questions when you pay 6 months in advance in cash. You spend 3 days studying the patterns, the schedules, the routines. The prosecutor takes his coffee on a balcony every morning at 6:47 a.m. It's a small balcony, barely visible from street level. But from your window, elevated and distant, you have a perfect angle. The distance is 643 meters. Not impossible, but challenging with the morning wind coming off the mountains. On the 4th morning, you wake up at 4 a.m. You set up your rifle on a tripod hidden behind curtains, calculate the ballistics, account for wind and humidity. At 6:45, you see movement on the balcony. The prosecutor steps out in his bathrobe, holding his coffee cup like he doesn't have a care in the world. You control your breathing. Your finger rests on the trigger. This is the moment where you become what you trained to be. But then you hesitate. Through the scope, you see something that wasn't in the intelligence file. A little girl, maybe 8 years old, runs onto the balcony and hugs the prosecutor's leg. His daughter. She's standing right next to him. If you miss by even 3 inches, if the wind shifts, if your calculation is wrong by even a fraction, your mind races. You remember your father. You remember being that child, but you also remember the consequences of failure in this world. They won't just kill you, they'll torture you, make an example of you, hunt down anyone who ever knew you. The prosecutor bends down to kiss his daughter's head. For 1 second, she moves away to look at a bird. A 1 second window. You fire. The suppressed shot is barely louder than a cough. Through the scope, you see the prosecutor collapse. The daughter screams. Bodyguards swarm the balcony within seconds, but they're looking in the wrong direction, searching the nearby buildings. You calmly pack your rifle, walk out of the apartment like a normal tenant going to work, and disappear into the morning crowd. The police will find the spent casing in 3 days. By then, you'll be back in the mountains. The kill is ruled a mystery. No witnesses, no suspects, no evidence, just a ghost's work. Over the next 3 years, you become a legend in the underworld. They call you El Silencio, because your victims never hear the shot that kills them. You take out rival cartel leaders, corrupt politicians, informants, anyone who threatens the organization. Your longest confirmed kill is 1,840 meters, a shot that's considered impossible by most military snipers. But success breeds jealousy. The cartel's other enforcers resent you. You don't get your hands dirty like them. You don't take risks. You're too expensive, too proud, too independent. Whispers start that you're planning to defect, to sell your skills to the highest bidder. One night, you receive a mission that feels wrong. The target is a veterinarian in a border town, a civilian with no obvious cartel connections. When you ask why, the handler just says, "Orders from the top, no questions." You set up in an abandoned grain silo, overlooking the vet's clinic. Through your scope, you watch him for 2 days. He treats sick dogs, gives free vaccines to street cats, smiles at children. He's nobody, just a good man in a bad world. On the third night, you see something that makes your blood freeze. One of the cartel's own enforcers walks into the clinic for a checkup. This isn't a hit, it's a test. They're checking if you'll kill anyone, no questions asked. Or worse, they're trying to tie you to a civilian murder, to have leverage over you forever. Your instinct screams to walk away, but walking away means becoming a target yourself. You make a decision. You pack your rifle and disappear into the night without taking the shot. You become what you were trained to hunt. A ghost running from ghosts. You use your savings to buy fake documents and vanish into a city on the other coast. For 6 months, you live like a normal person. You get a job at a construction site. You rent a small apartment. You even start talking to a woman at the coffee shop. But you can never fully relax. You see threats in every shadow, calculate sniper positions from every window, sleep with a pistol under your pillow. Then one day, you see him, El Fantasma, your old instructor. He's sitting at a cafe across the street, reading a newspaper, but you know he's not there by accident. When your eyes meet, he doesn't pull a weapon. He just folds his paper and walks away. It's a message. They know where you are. That night, you pack a single bag and prepare to run again. But before you leave, you do something reckless. You go to the coffee shop one last time. The woman there asks why you look so sad. You want to tell her everything who you are, what you've done, why you can never stay. Instead, you just smile and say, "I have to leave town for work." She writes her number on a napkin and tells you to call when you get back. You take the napkin, knowing you'll never call. As you walk into the darkness, you realize the cruelest thing about being a sniper. You can kill from any distance, but you can never get close to anyone. You disappear into the night, knowing that somewhere, someone is watching you through a scope, calculating the wind, controlling their breathing, waiting for the perfect shot. The hunter has become the hunted, and this time, there's nowhere left to hide.